Do you know? If you want to know what patience looks like, watch a cat just before it jumps. But no one in the small city of Ravenhill truly understood the meaning of that sentence, until the day a stray cat named Shadow appeared. A cat that no one owned, no one touched. Yet somehow, it taught a desperate man a lesson that could change an entire life. Chapter 1. The City of Hurried People. Ravenhill was a small coastal town. During the day, it buzzed with fishing boats, tourists, and streets filled with cafes. But at night, the city became quiet. On the roof of an old abandoned warehouse, there was always a small silhouette. A gray cat with yellow eyes, sharp as blades. People in the neighborhood called it Shadow. No one knew where it came from. But Shadow had a strange habit. It would sit on the rooftop for hours without moving, just observing. Chapter 2. The Man Who Was Failing. Not far away lived a man named Daniel Carter. Daniel had once been an ambitious entrepreneur, but for 2 years in a row, 3 of his business ventures had failed. He lost money, he lost confidence, and he was close to losing hope. Late one evening, Daniel sat on the balcony of his small apartment looking down at the empty street. The pale yellow streetlight shone across the roof opposite his building, and that's when he saw Shadow. The cat was sitting completely still, like a statue. Daniel laughed tiredly. At least you know how to rest. I don't. Chapter 3. The Strange Hunt. One night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He stepped onto the balcony again and saw Shadow on the roof. But something was different this time. Shadow was staring at the corner of a wall. A small mouse was searching for food. Daniel thought, now it's gonna jump. But it didn't. Shadow didn't move. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. 10 minutes passed. Daniel became confused. What is that cat doing? Then suddenly, the mouse ran into the middle of the yard. Shadow dropped down like lightning. Just one leap, the mouse was gone. Daniel sat there in silence. He whispered, so, it was waiting. Chapter 4. The First Lesson. From that day on, Daniel began watching Shadow every night. And he noticed something remarkable. Shadow never acted immediately. It always observed, waited, calculated. Only then did it move. It never wasted energy. It never attacked at the wrong moment. One evening, Daniel said, half joking, maybe I should learn how to live from you. Shadow looked at him. Its golden eyes glowed in the darkness. Chapter 5. The Night of Opportunity. 1 month later, Daniel received a new opportunity. An old friend invited him to invest in a large project. In the past, Daniel would have jumped in immediately. But this time, he remembered Shadow. He spent 2 weeks researching, analyzing, observing, just like the cat on the rooftop. Then he realized something. The project was extremely risky. If Daniel had invested right away, he might have lost everything. He declined. 3 months later, the project collapsed. Daniel exhaled deeply. Thank you, Shadow. Chapter 6. The Encounter. One winter evening, a cold wind swept through the streets of Ravenhill. Shadow was no longer on the rooftop. Daniel felt uneasy. He walked into the alley behind the warehouse. There, under a dim streetlight, Shadow was facing a large dog. Daniel held his breath. The dog growled. Shadow didn't run. It stood still, calm, waiting. At the exact moment, the dog lost focus. Shadow leaped onto the wall in a flash. Escape. Daniel laughed. Not the strongest, but the smartest. Chapter 7. Life begins to change. Months passed. Daniel began rebuilding his career, but this time, he did everything differently. He didn't rush. He observed the market. He waited for the right moment. Then he acted. His new project slowly became successful. Not because of luck, but because he had learned something Shadow had known all along. The lesson from Shadow. In the natural world, cats are not the fastest. They are not the strongest. But they are masters of timing. They understand a principle many people forget. Patience is not waiting for nothing. Patience is preparing for the perfect moment. If Shadow's story made you think, remember this. Sometimes the greatest lessons about life come from a silent cat sitting on a rooftop. And if you want to discover more, real stories from the animal world, powerful lessons from nature, incredible creatures with astonishing abilities, follow the channel now, because in the next video, you will discover which animal has a loyalty so powerful it has made the whole world cry. And trust me, that story is even more incredible than Shadow's.